Buffalo. Yeah, it was good to get the win. And credit to Dartmouth, like that's hard to go play at Wyoming and then come turn around 2 days later and play here. So because I know how it feels to play in Wyoming, especially when you're not used to being in altitude. But it was is it not on? That was good. Okay. But it's our guys. What the challenge was to keep them under 60. So we did that. But we got to just keep getting better defensively at the end of the day. And they took a lot of steps in that area. And I was never going to tell them this, but that's human nature that after you have an emotional game like that on Saturday night in front of a sold-out arena and the ups and the downs of what that game was, it's hard to get ready for the next one. And so part of it was offensively too tonight. We planned for a 3-2 zone because that's basically played 85% of the game versus Wyoming in that, and then they didn't against us at all. So part of that was that's on me in the preparation for it, but I felt like we had to be ready for the 3-2 just because we really hadn't seen zone up until this point. But I'm glad we got the win, and we won by a good margin, and the guys responded in the second half the way that we wanted to.
Is this one of those nights where, especially defensively, the overall product got you what you wanted, but there are some spurts where you still want to kind of clean up things?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just, and I told them that it's not that they're not doing it. It's just 8.5 out of 10 times, and that's not good enough for where you want to get to. And I'm not lowering the standard, and I don't think they want me to either, though. So it's all of us. Like as a staff, we got to keep doing a better job holding them accountable to certain things. And at some point, though, they have to hold themselves accountable too, and then hold each other accountable. And they do a good job of that. But I told them we're not going to be a top 20 defense from Saturday to Tuesday. That's not going to happen. But can we take a couple steps? Can we get better in these areas and then carry that to the next one? And they did that. They did get better in some areas tonight. So that's what I told them. I was pleased with how they did progress tonight.
In your opinion, is it harder though for when you take a group that's got so many new people in different roles? It's harder to catch up defensively than it is offensively.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the case here at times. And to be honest though, like we don't have a Nate Clifford, we don't have an Ethan Morton, you don't have a Jalen Lake. Like those are some pretty elite individual defenders, and so might not have elite individual defenders, but we have to be a better team defensively then too. And so our communication has to get better. We have to get on a string. We have to be on the same page constantly, and that's going to be a challenge, especially for a group that's a little more reserved. But that's going to be our challenge. Can we get to that point where we're an elite team defense? We're not. I don't know if we're ever going to be an elite individual where you just put Nate Clifford on somebody and it's like good luck. But we can be an elite team defense.
And some of it, just finding the right balance, I guess, of kind of whatever rotations and stuff. Because there's a group came in was defending okay, but the offense kind of staggered a little bit. Just finding that right balance.
Yeah, and that was the one hockey sub rotation that I did, and that was for other reasons. So that was more because of that. And we won't ever do hockey subs, but it was called for that moment. Yeah.
The oddity to me, it's like you did really well tonight in the paint, but you only shoot 3 free throws. You found different ways to get your offense tonight than you have in other things. We did talk to the players. They're seeming to gain confidence. They can score no matter what the task is in front of them. Are you getting the same confidence as a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've shown we can be successful on offense in multiple ways already this year. 35 or 44 free throws against Denver, whatever it was tonight. 3. The percentages. Yeah, I can't say anything about that. But it's and that's the credit to the guys, though. I think they take what the game gives them. And I think that's part of the offense wasn't flowing tonight, and that's because of the 3-2 zone. And I didn't prepare. We didn't prepare as much. We literally spent way more time on the 3-2 zone than we did on the man stuff, and it hurt us in the first half, and we weren't as ready, and then we were more prepared in the second half.
Is that, I guess, maybe an interesting challenge for both your staff and this group of your offense has been so good that you're getting all sorts of different stuff thrown at you by opposing defenses of trying to figure out the best way to prepare and be ready for that?
Yeah, and our scout team does a phenomenal job at doing that. Like they mix up switching versus not switching versus hard hedging versus fronting the post versus denying passes, denying passing lanes, locking on Josh. So our scout team does such a good job of preparing them for different looks that most of the time, and we've seen almost every defense, and we're only 9 games into the season. The only thing we haven't seen is a bunch of random zones, but it has been good for us because we've seen, Denver switched everything basically. Virginia Tech didn't switch anything and ran through stuff. So we've kind of faced every defense that you can see against us, which is only going to prepare us better for league. And that's why you do the non-conference schedule that we did. We've pretty much seen everything that we are going to see in conference now.
To expand on that also, a lot of different guys got a piece of the offense tonight. Does it seem like they all kind of understand like what's being thrown at them and kind of having to adjust on the fly?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the hardest thing, and that takes time. You kind of got to go through it, but it's like they said, we've literally seen every kind of defense up to this point. We've told them there's only 4 different ways you can really guard us, and we've seen it. I've seen it now for 8 years. So getting them used to that, and then our scout team doing that and making them feel that early in the preseason, that really prepared them for what's been happening, and they've executed great. And I think it also helps when you have a lot of shooting, and that you have Kyle, who mainly people are switching right now, who can also score in the post or get fouled, and we're also a really good free throw shooting team. So it's been fun to watch them adjust over time.
Going off of that, how beneficial is it this early in the season to have a game like this where you can put guys that you wouldn't necessarily pay in and see like just how good that depth is on the team?
Yeah, and that's the hardest part, because like Darnez has done so many things right. He shows up every day, and you saw like our offense doesn't lose its flow at all, and our defense actually probably picks up when he is in the game. And then John even came in and hadn't played up to this point, and for him to play the way that he did and do so many things at a high level, it just shows we do have a lot of depth. It makes my job hard, and that's the hardest thing. Is there's 2 guys that probably should be playing that aren't playing right now, and there's probably 2 other guys that should be playing more minutes than they're playing too. And we've kind of talked about it all season, and that's the hardest thing. But I know they did. I'm huge credit to Darnez. Like that shows me also that if something happens in the game going forward, like I know that if we need him, he's ready.
Talked a lot in the past about Rashawn as a defense banker. Do you have any update on him and when you might be able to have him?
He's out for the foreseeable future, but he's moving around now. He started rehabbing it on Sunday, so there's a possibility he's back by Utah State, since it's still a ways out. But he'll be back before sometime at latest, I would guess January.
Also defensively, you talked about needing to still get better as a team, but Kareem Thomas, number 2, was limited to 4 points, I think, for 3/4 of the game. Is that something that maybe you're going to highlight, like something positive that came out defensively?
Yeah, I'll have you go tell him that. No, absolutely, and that's what I meant. Is like it's that fine line, right? You want to push them to get growing and get better and whatnot, but I can't tell them. I can't stick to the process of it and say that we're a process-oriented group if I'm not celebrating the small steps that we're growing into. So absolutely. He had 27 at Wyoming the other night. So I thought we actually did do a really good job on him. And I was worried about Brandon Mitchell-Day. He's a good player, and I thought we actually kind of kept him in check for the most part. Every basket he made was tough tonight. So for their main guys, I actually thought we did do a good job on them. Awesome. Thanks, guys.